Good morning. Today I'm going to make a wreath for the front door. You see it needs one. We've started decorating for the holiday season and I've got some colorful reindeer here and I have some large Christmas balls I'm going to go hang in the trees. If I have energy I'll get to that today. If not, we'll just make the wreath today. We went kind of colorful with our lights this year, so we have the large colorful standard original Christmas lights, and I have some small ones I might work into the wreath. We'll see what greens I can find out there that'll last in a wreath. I know I have some cypress, I know I have some pine, I know some eucalyptus, a couple different kinds of eucalyptus. So we'll see, we'll make it interesting, and if I find a lot I might make 2 wreaths, one for my office door, but we might just make one for the front of the house, so we'll see. See what I can find out there. This pine tree is growing into the path. The path is right about here, so I may as well trim this. This one is gonna be a problem. Woo, falling over. Cool. That one's still in the path, but it's so thick I think I need to come back with loppers, and this is enough maybe to get started on our wreath. This cypress here is growing back into the path a little bit, so I'm gonna head it off some places, keep it from coming in. Then on this side, what I was trying to do with this one was I was trying to create, so I was trying to create a circle with this. So the branches that are going way out this way, I don't really want anyway, so I'm gonna go in and cut those back a little bit. This is a harder wood. That one's gonna need to be lopped. Okay, now we have some cypress. I typically use these, which is actually an Australian peppermint, in arrangements, and it always comes down too low, hits us in the head. I don't think I'm going to use it in the wreath, so moving on. I have this silver dollar eucalyptus. I don't think I'm going to use it though in the wreath. This is a type of acacia, and I love the purple. And then it has all kinds of little flower heads coming on it. It's going to bloom bright yellow soon. But there's some parts in there where it's just too low, so I need to trim it anyway. And over here, it's coming down quite low. So I'm going to go ahead and trim those branches and use them. Back in the walkway. Poof. As is this one. Wow. There. Add that to the mix. Whew. I should be able to make a wreath. hopefully. So it's not expensive to make a wreath. Everything else that I'm using, except for the paddle wire, I got at the dollar store, Dollar Tree. And then greenery, you can either forage or order it from a florist, or this time of year you can cut parts off a Christmas tree that's maybe too tall that you bought. And a lot of garden centers and Christmas tree lots will also have greens that you could use for wreaths. So I have a random assortment of ribbons. They are, some of them wire edged. Wire edged, you can make more serious bows. I got some bells just in case. These two petal wires, I believe, or this wire, and I think this one. So I think this red wire is from the dollar store. I could be wrong, and this is definitely from the dollar store. I also have this kind, which I think we had left over from jewelry making. This is a 22 gauge. Don't know why, but we have two dollar stores in our area, and one of them was out of wreath forms. So when I went to the other one and they had wreath forms, I bought 3, just to be sure. And then I also got these little LED lights that I need to get batteries for, but I don't know, I may or may not work these into the wreath, but I thought that was cute. So I figure it's best to just look at my hands as I do this. This is my wreath form. You definitely want to, if you can, find paddle wire. The other kind will work, and the reason it's called paddle wire is it's on this paddle. And what's good about that is you can tie one end off and then tie one end off and then work using the other end. And it's not a coil that'll just tangle, so this keeps it from tangling. First, I'm going to cut apart little smaller pieces to work on the wreath. And I'm going to make piles of those. Piles of greenery types. Okay, then you make little bouquets of your greenery. Oh, step one. Step one is you attach the wire. I know it's red, you won't be able to see it. You attach it to your wreath form. So I twisted it around, it's snug. And you're going to pull snug, but not so hard that you break this wire because it is thin. And you're going to make a little bouquet of your greenery. And it's not all just going to lay the same direction along the wreath form. You're going to want to face some out, some in, and some along the wreath form. So I'm just going to start with one kind of facing out. And you pull the wire fairly tight, not super tight, but fairly tight, because these will dry up a little bit and they'll kind of thin out a scotch after being up for a while. And I'm going to make another little bouquet. So I'm taking some of each of them and putting them together. Just kind of mix and match. And the next one is going to go, so we're going to work counterclockwise. We're going to work counterclockwise on this. So the next one, I'm going to go really outside the wreath. And wrap the wire. So the next one I'm going to come inside the wreath with. So this next one, I'm going to come and face inside the wreath. As you start getting toward the end, you're going to have to start tucking, lifting the first branches you did and tucking the ends underneath it. So I'm not quite to the end yet, but I have to start doing that so that I can hide them. Oh, well, shucks. Broke again. So normally what I would do if it hadn't broken is I would turn it over and I would tie it off again to the frame. Since that last piece broke, I'm going to go ahead and wire that last bit one more time, just to make sure we don't fall apart. Nobody wants that. Okay, so that's good. Now I am going to take it out a little bit, and knowing that I can break it, I'm going to break it. And then this little bit, the end bit, I'm going to tie it to itself here. And then just kind of wind it around. Okay, so the wreath is made. These are my ribbon choices. I thought I'd just kind of lay them out here. This is fun. But I think that, and I think the wreath itself is so interesting with these little flower buds ready to go, and this bright yellow here, and the purple in this leaf, that I think I'm just going to go with a deep red bow, a simple bow, because the wreath itself is so intricate. So I'm going to go, I need to get sharper scissors to cut this. So I'm going to use this tub as a table out here. I'm going to use just the simple red wired ribbon. And you need really sharp scissors for this part. And oopsie-doo. I'm just going to leave a tail, however long you think the tail is going to be, and then you start making bows, however long you think you want them to be. And my hands have so much sap on them, but on this side you twist it, make another bow the same length, if it'll go, and twist again, 3, twist again. Uh-oh, so that's the end of our ribbon. So it looks like we're gonna get 4 more out of it, because that's the end of the ribbon. That's the problem with Dollar Tree ribbon. It runs out pretty quick. And then, since we have red wire, we will use the red wire. If we can find the end. Goodness. Sure made a mess of it with the... So, just going to wire that together there. And I'm going to leave the wire because I'm going to end up that's the beauty of a wired ribbon, is that you can kind of shape them. So I'm going to cut the other end here. Well, first I'm going to cut that. Cut the other end about the same length. And people do different things with the ends. So I just want to leave it really simple and straight across. So I went one more time around the ribbon. Now I'm going to take this, my wire that I've left, and attach it to my wreath, kind of where I have the hole in the wreath. I have my wreath on the ground right now. Bow got a little smash, but I can fix it. Alright, centered. Okay. Wow, that's a big wreath. That'll do. Okay, so we have a festive Just Greens wreath. I really love the little yellow flower bits and the mix of colors here. That's why I just wanted to go simple with the bow. It's a little funny. And see, these are colorful lights out there. And I replaced the squash with poinsettia and kale. So we're getting festive, or more festive. So then I have this box. These ones are ones I hung in the trees 2 years ago. Didn't do any last year. And I also got some snowflakes this year just at the Dollar Tree. They had some that were like spiky, fuzzy kind of, and these ones are just shiny. So I thought the shiny would be better because we don't get snow here. So it's a little nod to the north. So what I use to hang these in the trees is just fishing wire, and excuse my hands, I just made that wreath. And I just cut lengths of it, make knots, and then I loop it over the trees. Some of the really taller trees, I throw this up over the branch and then pull it down and tie it then. So I'll show you what I mean when I get there. So, whoopsie-doo. I have taken a fishing wire, and this doesn't actually have a loop. It has a little cut in it there. You can see that. So, now I'm all tangled up again. Anywho, let's see. Anyway, I I tied a length of fishing wire, hard to see, tied it in a knot like this. That's the only way to tie a knot so it won't come out in fishing wire, anyway, in my experience. And then I'm just going to loop the end through this notch, and I can either hang it like that with a double, which seems like that's what it wants to do, but I was going to do this. Just hang it really long. And I just find a branch, and that's too low. That branch is too low. Oh, that's not the best. Okay, so I found a branch for that one. That's really long. I need to maybe use a stool and get up higher. But I just had my knee replaced, so I'm just going to try to stay on the ground. So now I'm going to get to tie in the rest here. Okay, that does it for today. I got some decorations hung up in the trees, some Christmas balls and these snowflakes, and I got the wreath done. So we are more festive than we were before, and that feels good. That's something checked off my list. I have boxes and boxes of bulbs, though, that have arrived in the last day or two that I have got to get in the ground, and so it's not going to be today, but I'm going to get it done soon. So thank you for joining me, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye-bye.